Hello, I'm Blair Whitman.
And I'm Quincy Cofield. Welcome to the Fast Five presented by the Indiana University Media School.
5 sports, 5 minutes, Fast Five starts now. The Indiana Hoosiers beat UCLA on the road this past Saturday by a score of 42-13. The team was led by quarterback Curtis Rourke, who had 307 passing yards and 4 passing touchdowns. This win is game number 3 in the Hoosiers' currently undefeated 2024 season. Our very own Dylan Traeger has more.
Thank you, guys. Dylan Traeger reporting live from Memorial Stadium in Bloomington, Indiana. Right here is where the game's going to be hosted this Saturday. Indiana hosting Charlotte. Noon kickoff Eastern time. Charlotte 1-2 going into the game. Their recent win against Gardner-Webb, 27-26 win. It's going to be Indiana looking to capitalize early on Charlotte's weak offense. Look to see a guy like Aiden Fisher make some big plays. Charlotte really shuffling between two quarterbacks, could show some weakness early from that Charlotte offense. Indiana, on the other hand, coming into the game with a big win over UCLA, 3-0, leaving UCLA, and it's a good spot to be for Curt Cignetti's new Hoosier team. Back to you guys in the studio.
Kickoff for this Saturday will be at noon. The women's soccer team off to a great start this season, starting the year 5-1-1. The women continued their home stretch against Lawrence University on September 8th and dominated all game long. Layla Serda will lead the charge for the Lady Hoosiers, scoring 4 goals en route to a 9-0 victory. Last Thursday, the Hoosiers hosted the Ohio State Buckeyes at Yeagley Field. Despite a tough effort and 9 saves from Jamie Gertzenberg, the Hoosiers would fall to the Buckeyes 3-0, their first loss on the season. Tomorrow, the women look to get back on the winning foot at home versus UCLA, with kickoff set for 7 p.m. After this game, the women will settle in for the last of a 5 home game stretch, taking on the USC Trojans this Sunday. The soccer team have been off to a slow start starting the season after a 2-2-3 after a home loss against Dayton. The Hoosiers bounced back with a 1-0 win versus Rutgers last Friday from a Tommy McCaleb goal. This past Tuesday, the men returned home against the Evansville Aces, which ended in a 1-1 tie. This Friday, the men are back home against Maryland with kickoff set for 7 p.m. After this game, the Hoosiers will hit the road on September 27th to take on Ohio State.
Women's volleyball went undefeated this past weekend during the Indiana Invitational hosted in Bloomington. The Hoosiers clinched the win in Game 3 versus hometown rival, the Ball State Cardinals. Avery Tatum, a junior opposite hitter, delivered 25 kills, producing a career high. Tatum was the only IU player with double-digit kills. The Hoosiers go back-to-back against Notre Dame this weekend, playing on the 20th in South Bend and the 22nd in Bloomington. Following the Fighting Irish, the Hoosiers will have back-to-back Big Ten Conference games against Washington and Oregon.
Men's tennis kicked off their season this past Friday at the Middle Tennessee Blue Raider Invite. The doubles teams were swept in 4 matches by the Blue Raiders. However, IU would bounce back in the singles, winning 5 matches to 3. The men return to action on September 21st for the ITA All-American Championship in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The women's team competed in a 3-day Columbia Invite this past weekend. Both the singles and doubles teams would have dominating performances against Cornell and Hofstra. However, the Hoosiers would fall to Columbia, losing 3-1 and 4-2. The women look to bounce back this weekend at their ITA All-American Championship in Cary, North Carolina.
And finally, the women's field hockey team will take on Northwestern at home this Sunday. Following the game, they will hit the road on September 27th to take on Penn State before closing out their 2-game road trip against Lock Haven on the September 9th. And it looks like our 5 minutes is up. I'm Blair Wayman.
And I'm Quincy Cofield. Thank you for joining us, and come back Monday for a recap of this weekend.